So, for the last 2 days, I haven't stacked my days, and that is really bad, right? If I want to improve my communication, like to my very best, then I have to stay consistent, and that means because I have missed other previous 2 days, I will make more two videos today along with this video, right? So, I've been reading a lot on Substack, and after watching videos of um what was the name again of that famous personality? So that personality has written the book 12 Rules of Life. Peterson. Yeah, Peterson. Uh, why can't I remember the full name? Okay, so Peterson has been saying that read as many books as you can, right? You have to, like, that is also a solid tip for improving your prefrontal cortex of vocabulary, right? Now, as as said, I downloaded the app Substack, and I know that this app is full of interesting content to read out, right? There are a lot of words to learn and a lot of ideas to take note from. So among the posts that I read, I discovered this one post that talked about a British spy who went on to spy to Nazi, like in the era of Nazi, right? In the Germany, like Nazi Germany. So he was escorted. He was just a normal soldier back in England after when Hitler attacked, started World War II. He was escorted to France as a British spy. France means occupied France, right? So he was escorted to there because of his proficiency in French, right? And he was given some training on spy, right? So he went to French, but there were some colleagues there. Like there were some colleagues of him who basically was a double agent of for Germany, working for Germany, Nazi Germany, and that made the whole wrong move. The soldier has escaped from being capturing by Nazis again and again until Nazis finally achieved the goal to catch the spy, and he was being imprisoned in the France jail for 15 months, literally 15 months. And the period of time which he went through has been pure enlightenment for him, right? There are a lot of psychologists, a lot of philosophers who went through enlightenment of life and various virtues of life through solitude, through peaceful life, and all those sort of things to for like you have you like they had this environment where everything is contained and peace, so they find they basically enlightened in that kind of environment. But whereas this soldier got enlightenment in an environment where there was nothing, it was dim, it was very dark. And so and so there were many interrogations that took place in that jail, with Nazi officials coming to him about extracting information about British, right? But guess what? He again and again managed to escape from the harsh punishments from the interrogation by repeating the innocent kind of information he had, right? And he has been able to protect himself by that training that British has given him for his spy position, right? Now, what happened is that there was very little food. He used to get very little food every single day. And the room was about this size. this small size, right? One hand size, and he spent his 24 hours in that space for the whole 15 months. Can you imagine that? A human being can't survive without any social like, events or any friends, family to talk with. He has had nothing, right? So in that period of time, what he did was to practice mindfulness, but it was also very difficult for him to practice mindfulness in an environment where there was very little food and there was just very little space, hunger, and everything irritated him. But as the time went by, he made a habit to stay mindfully, like he made the habit to meditate mindfully, right? Now, with that fact, he then made a practice to roam around his small space by walking around the walls, and that was a kind of morning walk or evening walk of his person, because you have to like calm your mind by somehow. He tried to recall things that he has experienced from his life, experiences that he had, or stories that he knew, or news that he knew the world was going through. Also, there was no like materials to entertain himself, right? That is the case. So he basically did a lot with his mind to imagine, to go to the depth of the existence, the philosophical existence of human life. He went to that depth. Imagine that in that small corner with a little sunlight ray coming from small sized window. That's not even a window, that's a hole, right? From the small sized hole that's coming from that. Like, that was everything he had. Also, even though if it was a brief period of time, he basically managed to extract even a small papers from like the jail keepers, and basically he used to get was mathematical equations, right? He was not expert in mathematics, and also he didn't understand what it was at first, but as he stared at that same mathematical formulas every single day, it basically began to make sense for him, because he basically spent his whole time focusing on that equations, focusing on the meaning of that equations it had, right? Turns out it was a basic knowledge of integral calculus. So he basically enlightened himself to the existence of human life. He went to that depth by meditation mindfully. Also, in an environment where he was starving and it was very little space to move around. So you can imagine how it was. So another thing that I want to note around is that yes, the last time I recorded the video, I took note of certain things that I was making mistake. First of all, I was repeating so and then certain words as filler words again and again, which is repeating and irritating. And I need to replace those words with certain phrases that could be made consciously with my mind at that period of time, at that present time. And so, with keeping that in mind, I have to find out as many flaws as possible every single time I go through a video of myself, and that would unlock the next level of communication, fluent communication, as what I call that. Because it is very important to communicate your values to the client you would be working for. So, it, again, so You see, that was a mistake. But keeping that in mind, I will make a habit to store micro stories of myself that I will experience in my life. With that micro stories, I would build my personal brand, right? So that's it for this video. I'll record another, right?